Hello, I'm Michael Rojas. I'll be summarizing a reading from the annotated bibliographies by the name of Applying the Learning Theories to Medical Education, a commentary by Naya and Idris. The authors do go over the three main theories developed since the 1900s. They will identify or define the three theories, explain the basis for learning in medical education, and provide examples. Lastly, they do compare the differences of the three main theories. These three theories have been popularized by Watson and are placed in chronological order in regards to their development, starting with behaviorism, cognitivism, then lastly, constructivism. These theories have and continue to be used in medical schools in their training. The authors contend that these theories can apply to any discipline. Behaviorism assumes the following: that the learner is essentially passive, responding to environment stimuli, considered a clean slate, and behavior is shaped through positive or negative reinforcement. This reinforcement, positive or negative, increases the probability of the behavior that is wanted, while punishment, positive or negative reinforcement, decreases the probability of the behavior to happen again. Another assumption is behavior that is observable and measurable should be studied and applied. Watson contends behavior observed and measured in response to external stimuli and environment reinforces learning and behavior. This theory by Watson follows observations done by Pavlov's conditioning theory, and Thorndike and Skinner contributed to the principle as well. The three conditions representing behaviorism is classical conditioning, operant conditioning, and social modeling. A quick review of the three aspects of behaviorism, which initially is classical conditioning, involving Pavlov's experimental work with dogs, showing basis of rewards to learn. Second, operant condition, which we reviewed earlier, positive or negative reinforcement to achieve desirable goals or behavior. And third, modeling, which is the basis of people learning through observing others' behavior, attitudes, and outcomes. These principles have been found to be used on a daily basis. An example was apparent conditioning, which has been used to motivate employees, improve athletic performances, and simply potty train your child. Educational specialists feel behaviorism can be used for learning and behavior, but question its application for more complex learning, such as linguistic and problem-solving activities. The second theory is cognitivism, which, unlike behaviorism, people are not programmed animals who merely respond to environmental stimuli. In cognitivism, behavior is observed, but only as an indication of what is occurring in the learner's mind. Influencing their mind are their confidence, experience, culture. Are they able to use the knowledge they have? Cognitivism uses the mind as a computer. Information gets processed, such as memory, which, if you recall, it is receiving information with the five senses, short-term memory and long-term memory. The third theory is constructivism, which is focused on the inner mental activity, the black box of the human mind. It relates to contextualized process of learning, constructing knowledge rather than just acquiring it through listening. The learner does not have a blank slate, but rather has past experience and culture factors which play into learning. Additionally, knowledge is constructed based on personal experience and opinions of the environment. Constructivism is more of an active process of learning. Older individuals, adults, students seem to adapt to this process quite easily. They are known to be self-directed learners. These learners seem to thrive on this form of education, taking control over their learning process. The learner is expected to operate actively with their knowledge, construction, exhibiting adaptive skills. Medical education continues to evolve to meet the challenges of society. The curriculum needs to evolve in a manner that facilitates learners to achieve the intended goal to be medical professionals. Understanding the learning theories is helpful to design and deliver a curriculum that meets the demands of producing a medical professional. To meet the society's expectations of a medical professional, in 1996, CanMEDS Competency Framework was introduced. This formal framework has defined clusters of competencies referred to as physician roles, which all medical students must surpass. This is to assure the medical student graduates with full abilities as a physician. These days, physicians are not only medical providers, they are communicators, collaborators, health advocate, managers, scholars, and professionals. Examples of these theories in practice in medical school is number one, behaviorism, which is when a professor or a teacher asks a question from a student, gives adequate time for the student to respond. The instructor comments on the response, either correct or incorrect, using appropriate verbal and body language. The teacher who utilizes this behaviorist approach uses reinforcers to make learning efficient and effective. Cognitivism is in medical school during teaching of clinical medicine, where they're using problem-based learning, where a student is given quite a bit of information on a patient, physical exam, history, and the medical student needs to organize the data, prioritize, exclude information, and make a differential and make a probable diagnosis. The authors added prioritization and clinical triggers and problems in order to arrive at a diagnosis is not very different from experiments done by Kohler on his chimpanzees. Constructivism is promoted in medical school by keeping aware of the way students learn at all times, emphasizes on students learning rather than teachers teaching, maintaining an open dialogue at all times, encouraging opinions without maintaining an open dialogue at all times, encouraging opinions without negative criticism, promoting social interaction and confidence from the students, also recommended. This form of an environment in the classroom seems to have increased interest and discovery from the students. Since there is no stern format, students learn to analyze and solve problems using their unique learning style and experience. The following are effective learning factors. Teachers need to evaluate unique differences in learners. The aim is to make learning efficient and effective. Language is the controlling factor in instruction and communication, and the role of language and culture contributes to the effect of active knowledge gain. The differences between these learning theories is the following in medical school. Behaviorism is used when trying to show a procedure to a student in science or technology, where the learner is given training to operate a device or a procedure correctly and is asked to repeat it. Whereas in cognition, the student is able to be taught using behaviorism initially a procedure. Where there will be a problem is if there's a hang up, something going wrong with a procedure, unexpected problems, the student who does not have cognition abilities won't able to problem solve his or her way out of it. Constructivism is different from the other two learning theories due to most of the students in this group are older or in graduate school. They have a higher level of learning, have ability to interpret multiple realities. They have strong creativity, critical thinking, and are able to solve problems quite easily with their known knowledge. These learners are confident and able to multitask with complicated situations. Lastly, I wanted to review the three learning theories actively being used in medical schools at this time. Number one, the curriculum is designed to promote reflective learning, which is consistent with behaviorism. Number two, instruction and curriculum are given in increments of information in small packets to progress through medical school, benefiting and learning from experience, which is consistent with cognitivism. And the third is constructivism, which one can see by school promoting active learning, avoiding teacher-led instructions, through problem-solving exercises, evoking social learning, which are all consistent with constructivism. I hope this was insightful. I apologize for the length, but it was a little more information than I thought. Here are my references. Thank you very much.